Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Sunday Afternoon Smokes, your casual conversation podcast from the upstate of South Carolina. My name is Chris. I am your host. I'm a realtor. I'm also the owner and operator of the Cigar Box, a mobile cigar bar that serves the upstate and beyond. Most conversations are enjoyed over a cigar while I interview the local entrepreneurs, business professionals, and entertainers that make the greater Greenville area one of the most popular places to live in the country. I hope you get to sit back, light a cigar, and enjoy the show. Today, I'm sitting down with Mark Thoennes, and we're also joined by returning guest, Richard Cox.
Do I get a prize?
No.
For a returning guest?
You get to be on the show. That's the prize. You get a free cigar.
That is the prize.
Already stealing the show.
Yeah. And so, Mark and Richard, I like to let my guests introduce themselves. So take a moment, say as much or as little about yourselves as you like. And while you two do that, I'm going to light my cigar.
Fair enough. Thanks for having me, Chris. First of all, big thanks to Richard. Appreciate you making the introduction. And once you mentioned cigars were part of this, I was like, count me in, sign me up. So appreciate you guys for including me in this and the opportunity. Mark Thoennes, I'm with Mark Thoennes Builders. Essentially, we're a custom luxury home builder based in Greenville, South Carolina. We primarily focus downtown, Augusta Road, Pleasant Valley area. I've owned several businesses over the years, but custom home building is where I am and have really, truly found my passion. We specialize in one-of-a-kind homes built around our clients' lives and needs, and yeah, that's pretty much who I am.
Sweet.
And for those that don't know, I'm Richard Cox. I'm the broker in charge for Sedan Joyner Realtors, an affiliate of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I manage the Augusta Road office right off of Augusta and Ferris, and I have been in the real estate business for now almost 25 years, which is kind of hard for me to say, but my hairline will actually tell you the truth. I really enjoy making people's lives better and helping better our clients and our communities as a result of that, and if I play a small part in that, then I've had a job well done.
At least you have a hairline.
Hey, yeah, I hear you. At least you have.
Well, you two are still keeping it honest. I'm the one that's still struggling for dear life, trying to act like what is real is actually not real.
You still have a good head of hair, man.
Yeah,
mine was super thin.
I appreciate that, but don't butter my biscuit too much.
So before we get started, man, Mark, you poured us up. I don't know. What are we drinking?
All right, so that's a Basil Hayden, which is one of my favorites. I was introduced to that a few years ago. Well, not a few years ago, several years ago by a friend. I'm actually trying a Blanton's. Enjoying it, smooth with this great cigar. So yeah, that's what we're sipping on. Yeah,
Richard and I are smoking Crowned Heads Mil Diaz. This is a great cigar by the boutique company Crowned Heads, based out of Tennessee. I believe they're in Nashville. Before, you've already had one of these, but this is round two for you. I mean, not today, but this is round two for you on the Mil Diaz, which you said you really, really enjoyed.
Excellent smoke.
It's a 91 rated cigar. It was a 3-year project, hence the name Mil Diaz, right? It's mil being a Spanish for 1,000, Diaz for days. So a 3-year project, 1,000 days. Nicaraguan wrapper, Ecuadorian Habano binder, and then a Costa Rica, Peru, and Nicaragua filler, so a 5-country blend. Mark, you've got YR Cigar Connecticut. I don't know if you're familiar with YR. I mean, they're a relatively young company, at least as far as cigars go. That's a Dominican brand. In fact, those just came in yesterday. Looking forward to getting your thoughts on those at the end. But it's a Ecuadorian shade-grown wrapper, an Olor Ligero Dominican binder, and then an all-Dominican filler. So, I mean, it's a Dominican Puro, meaning I don't know how far into the cigar world you are.
I'm a big cigar guy, but I wouldn't consider myself full-on aficionado.
Sure.
But, I know what I like. Cigars are about slowing down and being present.
Right.
Enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, you're like a champ at smoking cigars.
There you go.
Right? Yeah. That's a great thing to be a champ at, and everybody has their things. Everybody has their niches, You're a house builder. You're a golf guy. I'm a cigar guy, by and large. So I'm great at living in a house, but I don't know I'm not a champ at building them. I'm a champ at living in it, and Richard's a champ at golf and
used to be.
So anyway, I think, for what we can expect out of our cigars, probably some notes of cocoa, leather, toasty things. Mark, you're probably going to get some nice creaminess, maybe some sweeter hints, maybe some vanilla, but we'll see. It doesn't really matter. I'm here to have a nice conversation, enjoy the cigar, have the good fellowship, have a great conversation.
Absolutely am. I love a Connecticut wrapper. This is definitely a smooth, creamy cigar. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Is that where you like to be, on the lighter side?
It is. I haven't quite graduated to the more bolder, deeper cigars. I've had several of them, just kind of not my go-to.
Just really, and that's fair, because cigars, like whiskey or wine or anything else, it's 100% consumer subjective. It's like what your palate enjoys.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear you say, though, that you have tried several of the things on the fuller end, but you find just the lighter, creamier thing that's just kind of your jam.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Love it. I smoke typically my go-to is some sort of Connecticut wrapper. I enjoy Davidoff #1s, also the Xeno Platinums.
Xeno Platinums are great. That's a Davidoff product.
Yeah. So I enjoy the Davidoff products. A lot of Rocky Patels. I think they make a great stick.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much my go-tos.
Xeno Nicaragua, if you've had that.
Don't know.
That's a Davidoff. Davidoff owns a lot of brands. Davidoff, of course, Xeno, Camacho. They own Ferio Tego. So if you get the chance to get your hands on some Ferio Tego stuff, Ferio Tego Elegancia is very, very good. The Camacho Connecticut, I'm sure you've smoked that.
I've had the Camachos many times.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent cigar. I love the Ferio Tego Metropolitan Host Connecticut. And I can, if you want to try some different stuff, I can either get it for you, or I can just send you some recommendations.
Please do.
Yeah. They're just, very, very good. So Camacho Davidoff owns a lot. I mean, of course, they're like the premier as far as like you would consider like luxury cigar line. Davidoff.
All right.
Davidoff's there.
Davidoff's there.
That's the Maker's Mark distribution level of wide and deep too. When you get to things like in the cigar world, they're the one that's kind of, their fingers are in pretty much just about every single brand.
Yeah. And as a like distributor, or even like a brick and mortar, if you're going to carry Davidoff, they expect you to spend a lot of money with them, so they are very high end stuff. They're going to go hand in hand with things like St. DuPont, Paris, all the high end lighters and cutters and Mont Blanc pens and Rolex watches. And so they're very emblematic of just that high roller, high life.
So you're saying I've been spoiled when somebody introduced me to these and gifted them to me because it's such a great smoke.
Well, I mean, considering that you are, and we'll get there, but considering that you are Mark Thoennes luxury home builder, it would just make sense that Davidoff would be the line that you would dabble in. I love their late hour line, like the Winston Churchill thing. It's very good. But those are generally, I don't know if they have late hour Connecticut stuff. A lot of it is on the fuller side. Mm-hmm. But anyway,
sure.
Yeah, I'll send you some stuff.
All right, please do.
Yeah, man.
Look forward to it.
Like you said in the introduction, when I interviewed Richard several months ago now, whatever it was, I was asking him for recommendations. He mentioned you. It was my understanding you were a little bit hesitant, but when he said Chris brings cigars, you're like, yeah, man.
Nailed it.
It does go a long way whenever you're like, hey, I'm bringing free cigars. And people are like, sweet. Yeah, let's do it. But I do interview people from time to time that don't smoke, and that's fine. I interviewed the mayor of Easley in her office. It's not the 1950s, so we can't smoke in the office. That was my joke.
Have you ever interviewed somebody that doesn't smoke but was like open to trying it and willing to try one during the podcast?
I recently interviewed a guy named Daniel Cowan. He is a custom pocket knife maker. He lives out in like Seneca, Westminster area, does really high-end stuff. Smoked his very first cigar on my show.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was, and I've had some ladies on who, obviously very few ladies smoke cigars, but they're like, yeah, I'll do that for the show. Let's try it. And then I'll bring them, generally, I'll offer them something sweet, like that's been infused, like a mocha or a vanilla, or something that's been laced with fentanyl or whatever. Just kidding.
I love hearing that. My wife, she'll come out here.
Disclaimer.
And let's smoke a cigar. Let's have
your wife.
She does, and she truly enjoys them. So I've been blessed with that.
What is she like?
It's crazy. She'll go and get like when we travel and stuff. If there's some guy rolling cigars on the beach, or if we we go to the islands or something, or if we go down to South Florida or Naples or whatever, she'll get a something that's made locally or something. She doesn't necessarily always go to the big name brands or whatnot. So she's open to trying a bunch of different ones, but she likes a lighter cigar as well.
Well, I'm a fan of the boutique stuff.
Yeah.
The big brand names are fine. Nothing wrong with those. They're your staples. And I've just kind of learned in my business, running my cigar business, like you have to have those. When somebody comes up and they want a cigar, if you don't have a few things there that they recognize, they're going to be uncomfortable. And as the purveyor of this stuff, I don't have time to explain every cigar. So like I want you to be comfortable and have a few things there that you recognize, and then I can hook you up with those, but also recommend, hey, there's something that's unique that you can't get everywhere, like what you're smoking, YR, or the new stuff I got from Nova the other day. Those are going to be great. I'm excited about those. So, yeah, like I'm with your wife on that. Just the boutique stuff's really cool.
I also feel when you truly dive into a cigar and discuss it and talk about the flavors and the burn and stuff like that, it sticks with you more, and you're going to be more apt to remember a cigar and most likely enjoy them more so than just going and picking out a random cigar. So I'll remember this. I'll hit you up to get me some more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm enjoying it. So
yeah, I can definitely get those before I get you. Like, do you when you buy cigars, you just buy a few at a time, or you buy boxes, or what do you do?
All across the board.
Yeah.
Usually when I travel, I'll buy boxes.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm here local, I'll just go to a cigar shop and pick up a handful of them.
You have a big humidor in the house?
Yeah. Well, we just moved in this house, so I've got it. It's sitting in the garage, unfortunately, and all my cigars are sitting inside the house. But yeah, I've got quite a collection that I need to get back in the humidor. So
yeah. So what kind of humidor setup do you have? How many cigars go in there?
I don't know. It's maybe 6-7 feet tall and probably like 30 inches wide. 40 inch
fridge sized.
It's a refrigerator.
I really want to build a, I don't know if someone your audience isn't going to know, but when you walked in under the staircase, I want to build a humidor and a wine cellar, like a glass humidor and wine cellar underneath the stairs to kind of showcasing it, be a conversation piece, and also protect the investment.
That would be super rad. Just you walk in under the stairs. My wife is doing an under the stairs project right now, so I have a big hole in my wall when you walk in. I didn't even try to convince her that we should turn that into a place for cigars because she's wanting storage. But in my opinion, the cigars making that a big humidor would have been a much better usage of
completely agree
of the space.
Completely
love you, babe, but just saying for what it's worth. So, what is your ideal situation for cigar smoking?
I would say probably I'm not much of a golfer, but it's not really about the game of golf for me. It's getting out there, not having my phone stuck to my face, getting text messages and emails, riding around with some buddies, smoking a cigar, sipping on a cocktail, and just having a great time. I mean, I suck at golf. I really do. But I get out there and have an absolute blast with the boys, just smoking a cigar and having a few cocktails.
Yeah. Can you do that? Like, can you get on the golf course and not care about the golf and just enjoy the cigar and the guys and the beer?
No.
Or cocktails?
No.
The game of golf to me over the last like 8 or 9 years has become literally just that. It's I don't care anymore because I'll tell you, like even when we go on vacation, my wife will say, "Well, I mean, why don't you just want to go play golf?" And I go play golf by myself. Sounds like the most miserable 4.5 hours of my life.
I agree.
I just can't. It's if there aren't people that I care about and conversations that I can have, or just good times, laughs, give your friends some business. I told you I wasn't going to curse for 10 minutes. And I'm going to keep on this. And
10 minutes is up. It's free for all.
Just give it. Just like be able to. I don't want to say be guys for a minute, but Mark's right. Just don't have your phone glued to your ear for 45 minutes. Be like what we are right now, outside. Let time kind of slow down for 5 seconds. And it doesn't matter if you hit good shots or if you hit bad shots. It's still golf. And it's still being with your friends. Now, do I want to be competitive? Absolutely. I want to be. I mean, I'm competitive any place I go to. I mean, I'm competitive at trying to get the gas pump, for crying out loud. You know, I'll swoop in at the QT like, nope. Mine. Like, I mean, there's always going to be that, but it doesn't have to be all about that. And I think that's the beauty of the game of golf too, is that there's such a bigger social component of it. And that's why people can play till they're 95 years old. And you got people that will have absolutely no idea what's going on in that person's life. You get back home, Steen will be like, "Oh yeah, you played golf with Rob and Ben and Jerry today. How's Jerry's wife doing?" I don't know. Never came up.
How did get them? I don't know. You were with them for 2 hours. How'd you not talk about this?
We were talking about stuff that we wanted to talk about for 5 minutes. Like, I don't know. It's just it's just a perfect mishmash of like a little bit of competitiveness with a whole lot of camaraderie. And I agree with Mark about that. That's the whole nature of everything that golf embodies. You don't have to be good to enjoy it. You don't even have to. You can stink and still enjoy it. Yeah. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
We used to go to one of our favorite spots to go to, Chop House 47. Used to allow you to smoke inside the bar.
Oh, yeah, they cut that off later than pretty much anybody around.
Oh, so nice. Just going into this nice, dimly lit bar. Something about being inside, having a glass of wine or a bourbon or something, ordering some appetizers and smoking on a cigar. It was truly one of my favorite places to go and just hang out and have a cigar that didn't involve some sort of activity besides eating and drinking.
Sure. Because, I mean, you can't rush a cigar. It is what it is. And if you try to, you're doing it the wrong way.
That's right.
I mean, I think there's a lot of that about life, that you just can't rush that. And you can't rush getting to know somebody. You can't rush the process, whether it's building houses, whether it's creating relationships with clients, whether it's helping people buy, sell, or invest. You can't rush that.
Yeah.
Can't rush it.
Yeah, no, if you're rushing a cigar, you're doing it wrong. You know, there's a lot of things that I see happen with guys doing cigars, and I'm not normally the guy that's going to be like, "Hey man, you're doing that wrong." Like if it works for you and you're enjoying it, fine, whatever. You light your cigar a certain way, you cut it a certain way, whatever. I think there's certain ways that would probably be better, but if you're rushing the cigar, you're doing it wrong. Like the whole idea of a cigar is like what you said a minute ago. It's really about slowing down. You know, it's about relaxing. It's about de-stressing. Like if you're in a rush for a smoke, go smoke a cigarette.
Right.
That's what that's for. You know, but even on a practical level, when it comes to smoking cigars, if you're just puffing away at this thing like crazy, you can get it too hot. And you can wind up burning the natural oil and the sugar in the cigar, and when you do that, then your cigar is going to start getting bitter and tasting acrid, and it's just not going to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because when you smoke a cigar, that's what you're tasting is the natural sugar and oil in the leaf. And burnt sugar, as the French like to say, it's no bueno. Yeah.
Touche.
Sacre bleu.
Yeah. So how did you two cats meet?
Well, so Mark's wife, Stina, was an agent with C. Joyner for a really long time. And, obviously I got to know Mark through Stina, lived vicariously through a lot of the projects that they work on. She still works really closely with him on a lot of their projects. And I mean, I guess that's probably been almost 8-9 years now.
Yeah.
At least.
Got to be close to that.
At least 8-9 years. And so we've known each other a pretty good bit from, just from a professional working relationship to being able to hang out at convention from time to time, and just being around town. I mean, I've known Mark from a personal level and a professional level, and he's a really, really, really quality guy.
Well, I appreciate that.
He builds a quality house, as you can see. He stands on his own product,
literally.
And they're doing a lot of great things, especially in how you look at the Greenville fabric, the way that the Greenville landscape is working, where infill development and underserved communities that need new construction, need revitalization, need a product that is, one, affordable, but also, two, at the top end of quality. Mark has been one of the best at it, and he's probably been one of the first at literally at the frontier, if you want to call it that, of identifying areas where Greenville needs a little sprucing up, and he's done a great job with every single house that he's put on the ground.
I appreciate that. I do. Revitalization, comes in many forms and has its ups and its downs.
You have your critics,
you do,
sure, but if you don't have haters, you're not doing something.
That's very true. I've learned to accept that. So like in 2016, I did a rehab on a house over here in Pleasant Valley, where I do a lot of our builds and rehabs, and we won actually the GGAR Revitalization Award, which I was extremely honored to get. But that kind of just opened my eyes to what's happening in the area, how things are being done. I actually started over here in 2013 in Pleasant Valley, and did my first rehab over here. And now, fast forward to 2025, probably 45, 50 homes later, it's pretty interesting to see how the landscape has changed from what it was back then to what it is now. Going from, distressed properties that aren't being taken care of, that homeowners don't have a sense of pride in keeping up and maintain these homes. And when we came into this area and started revitalizing some of these homes, a lot of the existing homeowners and tenants, whether they be renters and stuff, started, I feel, seeing what's happening at what can be done with this home next door to me that was just revitalized. And I feel it gave them a kind of for lack of a better word, a kick in the butt, say, hey, I can make my house look like this. And we started seeing homes being taken care of and repainted and yards maintained. And so it was kind of neat to see the whole area start to evolve and change over the years, with what we've been doing over here, and what people moving in from out of state or locals that are moving in the area, or people that have already been living there are now taking a greater sense of pride in home ownership and doing things like that.
I mean, and all of a sudden, even from Rice all the way to Pleasant Ridge, I mean, you have all of a sudden there's 25 houses down the street are now all of a sudden there's a landscape crew there.
Yeah.
And and it's wild to see when Mark puts a project up, then all of a sudden everybody next to the left and to the right go, hey, I can do that too.
Yeah.
And you see not just the ability for new construction and an option for buyers that are looking for inventory, but then you see the neighborhood pick itself up.
Yeah.
and improve their own property value as a byproduct of that butterfly effect almost.
Yeah.
And now you look around and you go, man, all anybody needed was just like a pretty decent idea to be like, oh crap, I got to get my stuff together. Like, okay, all right, that's cool, man. Maybe I need to break the lawnmower out, maybe that chain link fence needs to come down, and then all of a sudden you've watched the landscape of everything change. You haven't watched the demographic landscape of it change. This isn't gentrification by any stretch of the imagination. It's just now you watch this organic uplift of an entire community just because you go, I could have that too.
Yeah.
All I got to do is go get a $50 gallon of paint from Home Depot and voila.
Yeah. So
and you just watch it. It's all up and down the streets.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. And that's the reason why the Augusta Road area was once 8 blocks.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 blocks.
Yeah.
Now it's a 3-mile stretch of road.
And growing.
I mean, and you can lay in part of that a testament to the fact that there are people that are willing to make an investment in communities, not to push people out, but to bring people up. And that's really what I feel like one of Mark's biggest, if you want to call it, the little plaque that's on the wall at the end of the day for you. That's one of the big ones that's going to be there.
Thank you.
And it's because you did things the right way and you kept doing it even when people were like, are you sure?
Yeah, I got a lot of that. And
then you painted a house charcoal gray and they're like, are you sure you want to do that? And you're like, hey, look at it now. And everybody's like, all right, cool. Yep. Never mind. You were right.
It works.
You were right.
Awesome. Well, I have questions about the revitalization, so we'll jump back to that. But let's just go ahead and get into it because we just did. So, Mark, you are a home builder, and before we get even further into the subject on that, go ahead and tell people, number one, how can they follow you or your companies on social media? And if they're interested in utilizing the services that you offer, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so if they want to kind of see, dive in a little bit to my personal life and my business life, they can follow me on Instagram at, Mark Thoennes Builders. We're also on Facebook, Mark Thoennes Builders. They're mostly I post, a little bit of insight to some of the build process, some of the projects we've got going on, some of the finished products, even some of our listings. And I like to mix some of my personal stuff in there, whether it's accomplishments of my children or my wife or my family to whatever degree. My name is on my company, so might as well put it out there.
Yeah.
And, I did that for a reason. So, but yeah, Facebook, Instagram, of course, my website, which is marktonnesbuilders.com. It's a weird last spelling. It's Thoennes.
Is that Greek?
Nope, it's German.
I was close.
Gets destroyed.
Really.
I've been called toenails, Thoennes, Thones. It doesn't matter. I've been called it. When I go make a reservation at a restaurant, they say name, please. I just say Thomas. Don't.
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah. Okay.
So that's how.
Awesome. So let's get back to the revitalization of the distressed. In addition to being the luxury home builder, which we will get to, but as we talked about, you're involved in revitalizing, residential homes in areas that you would consider to be in distress. And I have a couple of questions there. Certainly, you have criteria that you've come up with to determine what qualifies as distressed in your mind or on your sheet or whatever it is. So what are you looking for that makes the bell chime that says, yep, this is a distressed property? And what's your plan for, revitalization? Are you just like rehabbing things that are broken down? Or are you actually building new homes in those areas? Are you taking something that's just uninhabitable and tearing it to the ground and building on top of it? Like, what's going on?
Every one of those things. So yeah, when I first, like Richard said, the frontier, I like consider myself kind of a pioneer, and it can be a little scary at times because I'm going into places that nobody's gone before or places that people are afraid of. And I just kind of see a vision of what's happening in Greenville, where the growth is going, the fact that so many people want to be close to downtown. They want to be close to Augusta Road. They want to be in a golf cart ride away to some shops or restaurants or whatever. People enjoy all those types of things. So as far as the revitalization goes, we'll come into areas. I bought homes sight unseen because I know what I'm going to do to it. I'm either going to come in and strip it down to the studs and essentially make this a brand new home. We don't try and lipstick on a pig. We don't try and just patch things and just get by with the minimum. So
it's not the landlord special where you're
that's
like
right.
putting a piece of paper over a hole in the wall and just
Mark doesn't do flips, is what Mark is trying to say. Mark goes down to the bottom to where he can actually put his thumbprint.
That's right. That's right. So, if the property makes sense for us to revitalize it, tear down the studs and completely redo the inside and the walls and roof and everything, we'll do that. If it makes sense for us to tear the house down and the lot is large enough to subdivide it and get 2 lots, we do a lot of that. And then, occasionally we'll find a client that has a house and they want to sell off their backyard that we see we can build a home on. We'll come in and help them in that process, buy the lot, and we'll build a new home on it. So it's pretty much across the board from new construction to renovations to subdividing.
So that's the difference, I guess, just to clarify between what you said. Mark doesn't flip houses. There's a difference between flipping and revitalizing. Like a flip would be, let's put a fresh coat of paint, maybe some new carpet, maybe upgrade the kitchen cabinets and the countertops and the vanities in the bathrooms, versus we're taking this down to the studs. And like you said, as long as the bones are good, foundation's good, studs and walls are good, we're making it, in essence, a brand new home.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And a lot of times it's just the foundation we'll keep. And even sometimes when we get the engineer out there, he's like, no, foundation's no good. Then we just take the whole thing and start over. But most of them are, like I said, down the studs, down the foundation. We chop the top of the roof off and we'll build 2 stories and completely, because a lot of these homes are old like mill houses. Most of them are like 2-bedroom, 1 bath, which aren't very functional. So we add on square footage or we go up and make it a more livable, usable home.
Yeah. Well, you brought up a subject that I originally had in my notes and then I took it out. Like I said, my podcast is super casual. I'm interested in people and curious about what they do. And I don't really try and ask just, difficult or gotcha questions, but you said that this is not gentrification, what you're doing, but I imagine you've gotten that.
Oh yeah.
That just like but you're not, it doesn't sound like you're going into a neighborhood where things are struggling and houses are $275 and building something that's $800,000.
Sometimes,
help us through that.
Okay. So, gentrification can be looked at in many different ways, in my opinion. The part where we get a little bit of kickback is they're saying we're displacing these homes. I mean, these renters, or displacing people that have been living in an area for a long period of time, where most of the homes that we're purchasing are almost uninhabitable. So that's revitalization in a nutshell to me. But the gentrification part, there's a downside to some of what we're doing. We're increasing property values, which does increase property taxes. That's just a side effect that does come to it. But we're also we're giving benefit to a lot of either landlords and or homeowners, where we've increased these property values and we're purchasing these homes from them, allowing them to potentially do something else that they didn't want to, move to somewhere else that they don't, buy a house that's in much better shape than what they were currently living in.
Right.
Because we're going to come in and strip it down and rehab it. So.
And there's a lot of opportunity. It's not like you're going in and buying at auction prices.
That's correct.
You're purchasing a property at fair market value
or above.
And then thereby increasing the value of every house that's up and down the block. And so for a vast majority, whether they are renters, that is a situation that's an issue for a lot of people everywhere. And there are kind of right ways. There's smart growth and smart management, smart development that goes into cities that have seen good things and cities that have seen bad things. And I feel like that Greenville, for whatever it's worth, has managed that manage that growth process in a way that doesn't, you're not ostracizing a certain group of people. You're trying to build everybody up. A rising tide lifts all ships, essentially. And so by coming in and sprucing up certain portions, but doing it in a strategic way to be able to do infill development. And infill development is hard because, one of the things about Greenville is they're not making any more of it.
Mm-hmm.
We have a finite amount of resources that we have to deal with. And coming in and not trying to bulldoze 10 houses and make, you could go in and bulldoze 3 lots on camera and make 16 apartment units and make way the heck more money. But guess what you're doing? You're not improving the landscape of what currently exists. And I think what Mark does is actually improving the landscape of what currently exists, and whether people are either experiencing an uptick in their own net worth, either by property value or just by general, the nature and the fabric of a community in and of itself. 10 years ago, you didn't have people walking their dogs up and down low hill and long hill. That's like that just wasn't there. Yep. But now I got to make sure, because there's going to be some girl walking her dog down the dang street. There's a reason why all of a sudden now we've got speed bumps on Pleasant Ridge, and so there is a very fine line to walk. And yes, there can be situations that don't necessarily benefit every single person, but a situation that benefits every single person ends up benefiting no one. Because if everybody benefits, then nobody benefits. And so then you have to make these decisions, and very measured decisions, whether that be improvement to the real estate landscape or just improvement to the community overall through amenities or any sort of infrastructure or buildup. I'm going to tell you, if you got a brand new construction house that goes on top of a place that was built in 1918, well, guess what they're going to do? They're going to upfit the sewer connect. We're going to go down underneath the earth, and we're going to fix what's going on down here. So guess what? You also get a net benefit of the fact that you've also got to connect. If you're next to the cistern, you're going to get some outside intrinsic value from just having new construction down the street.
That's so true. And the city, I got to give kudos to the city. As difficult as it is to go through the permitting process and all the architectural review,
they will make sure to the point that everything is the way that it is for not just you, but all your neighbors.
That's correct. And they pass a lot of the infrastructure on to us as builders and developer. We have to foot the bill for this. So it is true, like he said, it is truly improving more than just this house. It's helping the neighbor. It's helping the guy down the street. It's creating a lot of tax revenue. It's creating revenue from us from the permitting access, which allows them to plant trees across and create green spaces and things like Unity Park. And it's helping all those things that they may not see. Plus all the jobs that are created from just building one house. We have hundreds of people that are involved, from trades to vendors to suppliers, that are here local to Greenville. So it's creating a lot of
that's awesome. But because all of that coming out of the conversation topic about gentrification, which people, I understand, can be upset about, but that is just their one topic. It's their soapbox. It's their axe to grind, and they have no real idea of the long-reaching value of a project like what you just described. That this isn't just about this neighborhood. This helps tax revenue, which helps trees in our city and Unity Park, and creates hundreds of jobs. And then even just from the simplistic thing that you kind of mentioned at the very beginning, Richard, where if you go into a neighborhood that has what we're defining as distressed homes, things are just kind of run down, they're dilapidated, the siding's peeling, the roofs are in bad shape or whatever, and you come in and you spruce it up. Well, anybody that should have what you mentioned, Mark, just kind of having some pride about being a homeowner, that goes up, and you go outside to take out your trash or walk your dog or whatever, and then when the project's done, you look at that, and then you look at your house sitting right next door, and it's like, all right, man, that looks bad. I need to do something about that. and like you said, a fresh coat of paint or whatever, and it has that kind of top down effect that helps the neighborhood.
Yeah. And I get so many neighbors next door. Most of the feedback I get from the community is positive. We've got neighbors that come up to me, Mark, love what you're doing with my street. I've been here for 50 years. I grew up here. I love what you're doing. You're changing the landscape over here. You're creating this beautiful place for us to live in. Homeowners that aren't taking care of their homes are selling them, and I'm coming in and buying them and paying market or above market to these people, and then revitalizing that home. And they most of the feedback I get, the people are appreciative of this and really see the value of it. But of course you got those that don't.
No, that's awesome. Well, at this time, let me just say that if you were throwing a party and wanted to create an elegant cigar atmosphere, would you just go buy a few boxes of cigars and leave them out on the table? Wouldn't you rather exude class, sophistication, and elegance? Since you are craving that unique cigar experience, let the cigar box bring the cigar elegance to you. Arriving in a classy, custom-built teardrop trailer that actually functions as a rolling humidor, we offer a curated selection of premium cigars and a sophisticated ambiance, all delivered to your location. Whether it's a private party, corporate event, or just a gathering of friends, we will take your event from great to memorable. Book your mobile cigar bar experience today by visiting mobilecigarbox.com, filling out the booking inquiry form, and I will be in touch with you as soon as possible. So let's get into the luxury home side of things. We've talked about revitalization, that we may wind up back there again on a rabbit trail. That's fine. But as you told me before the show, you are a, quote, luxury home builder focused on downtown Greenville, Augusta Road, Pleasant Valley. So let me ask you how you define luxury, because luxury means different things to different people, right? Is it better materials? Is it higher end finishes? Is it a combination of that and many other things? Like, what are you checking off the box on the list to say this is a luxury home?
Well, I want to add, custom home builder to that as well. We're not just a luxury home builder. We're a custom home builder. To me, luxury is about living space, how the house flows, modern conveniences, integrated technology. You want to, some people want to be able to walk in and say, Alexa or Google, turn on my lights, or start my shower, or turn on the steam shower.
Oh,
Alexa. She's always listening.
Alexa is already doing it for us as we speak.
Luxury home is having a humidor and wine section under your staircase.
That's right. So in non-traditional materials, you drive around, you see how a lot of the homes look, similar in finishes and styles. I was born in Miami, been in Greenville most of my life, though, so I'm truly a Greenvillian. But I travel back down to South Florida a lot, and I look at a lot of the architecture down there. I pull a lot of my designs from that. I like modern, contemporary, clean.
Yeah, I could tell that when I pulled up to your house. I'm like, this is a modern house. Like, it's 100%. This is very contemporary. The lines, the design, the whole thing. Yeah,
it sticks out like a sore thumb. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah, so luxury isn't necessarily just about the nice things. It's truly about how you're going to live in the space, and how you're going to experience it, and how you're going to have parties, events. We love to socialize, so we like to design a lot of outdoor living areas.
Yeah, this space we're sitting in right now for this podcast is freaking awesome. I love it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the custom part of it is truly doing things that you just don't see. We have clients that'll come to us and ask us for some crazy and ridiculous things, or on a spec home that I'm going to build to sell, I want to do something that's totally out there. When when a client comes to us, we have this motto that we're not going to say no. We're going to figure out a way to make it happen. Haven't yet had someone ask for something that we couldn't do. I'm sure it's coming, but yeah, I mean, it's truly about being custom.
That was a question I had later. It was like, what's something crazy somebody asked you for that you just, it's not a reality.
I don't know. Willy Wonka elevator might come to mind.
We could probably do it.
You can make it happen.
We could.
I want to see it.
I mean, we could do it.
We'll get there. we'll get there. No, that's awesome. That luxury is more than just materials and high end finishes. It's really, I want this home to be integrated and flow well for the consumer, the client.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I guess, if you're spending X amount of dollars on a luxury home, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of your job to deliver to the client what they want.
Absolutely.
That makes them happy.
Absolutely.
And that's, in its simplest form, I mean, that's luxury. I get what I want, how I want it, when I want it.
They don't always want to pay for it.
Well, sure. As a friend of mine told me the other day, it's like, Grandpa always said you can have whatever you want as long as you can pay for it.
That's true. My dad always told me that as well.
And on top of that too, every home serves every home serves a purpose. I can go to a hotel for a fancy shower or this, that, or the other. But at the end of the day, a home serves a purpose. Does it want to be an entertaining space? Is it an inviting space for kids? Is it, does it have an exceptional view of the mountains or a lake or whatever? Does it have convenience or access to whatever it is whether I work, play, or whatever my dreams are? Homes serve a specific purpose, and really, I guess the true definition of luxury is meeting those needs exactly how they want to be met.
Yeah. This is a prime example. My home.
This is an entertaining space.
I'm not a golfer either.
Exactly.
And I hate yard work.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? I built on a golf course. I've got a beautifully manscaped backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I consider luxury. I've got this yard that's beautiful, this landscape that's beautiful, and I don't have to take care of it.
You don't have to cut 3 acres of grass like I do.
Yeah. So question for Richard, we have at CDJ, our brokerage, the Sedan Joiner, we have luxury certifications for agents that deal in high-end homes. And I think the mark for that's $750 and up?
It's $700.
$700K and up. And so I'm curious about the delineation. No matter if my client is purchasing a $200,000 double wide or a $3 million condo in downtown, they deserve the same impeccable service from me as their chosen real estate professional. Doesn't matter what the price tag is.
Correct.
But, while the numbers on the contract are much bigger, the contract's still the contract. So what is CDJ giving me as the agent, which I in turn, turn around and give to my client? What am I getting with that luxury certification that's helping me to either list or make an offer on the kind of house that Mark is going to have on the market?
So a lot of our world deals with social proof. And so the luxury specialist certification, one, helps to give you a further understanding of what the client is expecting in terms of service. Now, granted, we would say that whether it's a $200,000 double wide or a $3 million home, yes, you would put the same exact amount of effort into it. However, servicing a luxury clientele doesn't necessarily require the same skill set as serving somebody that's looking to purchase a $200,000 double wide. Not that they're any less deserving of the same amount of effort. It's just that the tools in my toolbox that I'm going to use are different. And so Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and Sedan Joiner specifically, when you go through that luxury specialist certification, you're given several scenarios to be able to play through what a luxury buyer really does want and what they value, right? There's always going to be Walmart and there's always going to be Louis Vuitton. Those two people want two separate things. So you can either have it cheap, easy, or quick. You can only choose two out of the three. And so we really try to get as close to three as possible. And especially with regards to luxury clients, what we're looking for is to be able to enhance that experience to cater to their needs specifically. And so the luxury certification goes through about a week's worth of education and training, if you want to call it that, to help further your knowledge and further your ability to service those clients in a meaningful way. We can treat everybody the same and give everybody the same effort. Some people just want a different recipe.
Sure.
And that's the luxury.
I mean, it's going to Hall's or McDonald's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll drive past 10 Hardee's to get the Rush's because I want the cheeseburger that I want.
I'm not familiar with Rush's.
If you haven't had a Rush's cheeseburger,
I haven't.
You have to. That is the mecca of fast food.
Is that local here?
It's in Columbia. It's only a Columbia chain.
Never heard of it.
It's only a Columbia chain.
All right.
Well, I will state for the record on this podcast to the 6 people and my mom that are listening that if you guys get a Rush's and you don't say it's 10 out of 10, I will pay for your meal.
Well, I might be down in Columbia in the next few weeks, and if I am, then I'm going to purposefully
Their motto is
seek
fabulous
out
food fast.
Okay.
All right.
So if you're talking about service, that's it.
You know, and sorry to change this up, but back to kind of the luxury. You know, a lot of people are looking for homes that just can. They've got 5 kids. They just need 5 bedrooms. They want a big bonus room. They may not necessarily care about having 8-foot doors versus you know 6'8" doors. When you get in,
I'm here to house the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Like I got this is my need that needs service.
They're only worried about school districts or just certain conveniences that come with this. They need a certain amount of square footage. I get that all the time. I mean, I built luxury homes that are 1,800 square feet.
Right.
That have just ridiculous finishes, and they're focused and worried about how the light travels through the home, how the house flows. The house is dialed into how they live their lives, not them dialing their lives into this box or this particular home. And that's part of going back to what truly customization is and what we can do as a custom home builder.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. So, hey, man, if you got stuff going on the market and you need a listing agent, let me know.
All right.
That's what I'm here for.
Little bit of a problem.
You're going to have to fight with his wife.
I would say, no, I'm not going to say it. Yeah, well, I'm going to do the best I can.
I don't need Stina calling me more than she already does. Okay?
Yeah.
And not for that reason, okay, buddy?
That's right. She's going to be like, if you can sleep with them, you can have the listings. And that ain't happening.
Yeah.
Might be
I like my job, but I have limits.
Be willing to take.
I have limits. Yeah. So, you said that you wanted to add to the luxury custom homes, not just luxury, but it's custom. But there's custom, there's semi-custom, there's production. It's all these homes. So, are you building? Obviously, you're not building. I guess you're not building track homes like Lennar or Mungo, but are you building straight up custom homes? You also do semi-custom, or tell us exactly what's the difference between custom and then semi-custom, and then.
All right, so a custom, in my opinion, it can mean a lot of different things. To us, it means exactly that. Our clients aren't picking from a handful of plans. They don't come in and say, we don't say you can pick from these 5 plans, but we can customize the finishes and stuff. We have a full team of architects, interior designers, estimators, project managers. So what they're getting is a home that's truly designed to their livelihood, their lifestyle. We take inspiration from Instagram, Pinterest, and all that, which is the devil in my world. But yeah, I mean, it is truly designed however they want. If they've got the budget, and we help guide them through that process, make sure they have a realistic budget, so we're not just spinning wheels on them and us. Semi-custom, I guess, would be you have some house plans that they can pick from, and then if they want to make some modifications or changes or pick different countertops or different lighting fixtures, that's probably a semi-custom.
Right.
Would I say we've done some stuff like that? Yeah, they always start out as a complete custom, and if we're halfway through the build or something and a client comes in and says, oh, I love what I see and we've just sheetrocked, we'll let them make some changes and things like that. But semi-custom, you're limited to what you can change or modify, whereas full custom, we're a design build firm. We're going to design it from the ground up. We're going to take into account the lay of the land, the topography, the trees, the sun, the positioning of the house to truly make it a custom home.
And that design build process essentially starts from the lot, and then you have a client in that situation and you say, I'll make a recommendation about what could feasibly fit on this piece of property, or do you try and kind of drive the boat towards a certain footprint and then let them go, or are they completely involved from day
They're
one?
completely involved. So
Okay.
a lot of times clients will have their own lot that they've purchased or an area that they like. They may have some acreage. They may have a 1/10 of an acre, whatever it is, and they'll want us to come and build on their lot, which we will. And we'll take them over from that process and bring in the survey and the architect and say, hey, here's the building envelope that we can build in. This is the restrictions. This is about how big of a house you can get. And then a lot of times we have inventory of our own where we have lots that we haven't either started on or we've started the designing of the home and they're like, oh, we love this lot. Let me see the plans. We'll show them the plans. Well, we don't like this. Say, okay, well, we can either modify this or we'll throw it in the trash and we'll start over from ground zero. So that's truly, in my opinion, what a custom home and a design build firm is and does.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of getting into the next question I was going to ask, which was if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, Mark, I want you to build me a custom home for me and my family." Obviously, there is a ton that goes into that: site location, concept, design, site prep, materials. So, what does that process look like? And not counting actual build time, but just kind of ballpark it for us. How long does that take to flesh out just to get from, first phone call, I want to do this, to we've talked to the architect, we've done design, we've picked finishes, and we're ready to start building? Like, what kind of time frame are we talking?
So that again is what makes us a custom builder. A client will reach out to us and say, hey, I've got this lot, or do you have a lot? Yes, we do. We'll bring them in. We'll set up a consultation, make sure we're a good fit for them, and make sure they're a good fit for us. Make sure they have a realistic dreams, budgets, and likewise, they want to interview us and talk about our process. And that's a key part to my business and the success of my business.
It's a huge part.
The process and the technology we use to communicate with these clients. So I would say from the initial consultation, it's about a 4 to 6 month process, depending on the complexity of the build or the property or the house. Then I'd say have a 90-95% win ratio, I guess, once we get to that point and have designed it, that they decide to move forward with us through completion. And then the build times can typically range from 8 to 12 months, but we've had builds that have taken 2 years. And then we've had some that we've turned around in 4 months from permitting. So 4 to 6 months for the design phase of putting together budgets, selections, design the house, making sure the client gets exactly what they want. And then we go under the formal build contract where we apply for permitting, and that part takes about 8 to 12 months.
Yeah, so you're looking at, like, if you call up Mark Thoennes Builders today and you want a custom home built, I mean, by the time you get keys in hand and you can move in, you're looking at 2 to 3 years.
No.
Year and a half.
For about a year and a half.
We usually can get all this done. If the clients can move quickly and don't have a bunch of revisions, don't have a bunch of changes, with the process we have, we can typically get this done in about 12 months.
Oh, okay.
That's probably average. So a year and a half is a little too long for me, but that means it's extremely intricate, a lot of details, big house, difficult terrain, could be up in the cliffs, could be on the mountain.
Well, I was thinking, well, I guess I was just thinking more, you said like 6 to 8 months on like the meeting and then all the design and all that. And then, a 12-month build. So I was
4 to 6 months on the design and then 8 to 12 months on the build. So yeah, it could be 16, 18.
But again, if you're doing a big house that's super intricate in a lot of detail, and then you're looking at some time.
That's correct.
So
that's correct.
Better be super excited about your home and keep that excitement up. If you're
That's right. But on average, I would say 12 months. We can, from start conception to completion, we should be able to turn something around.
Yeah. Building from the ground up is it's a totally different animal than buying a new construction home. I live in one of those. I bought in a Lennar community a few years ago. But in your experience, what have you seen in this industry that your clients have just totally been unprepared for?
Usually it's selections. When they get into the selection stage, there's so many options out there. It can be extremely overwhelming. So we do a good job with our team of kind of honing that in. Our vendors, when we send them to go and select their lighting, we go ahead and say, hey, here's their budget or here's their allowances. Keep them in that. Don't show them all the stuff that's above and beyond that. They certainly have that option to, and stores are designed to do that. When you walk in, you see all the greatest
sensory.
That's right. What do they call it? Point of sale or something like that.
That's all the crap at the checkout counter with all the candy and the chewing gum and the magazines. Yep.
Exactly.
You go, whoa!
The impulse buy.
You just have to have it. So we have a lot of things like that. So they get overwhelmed. They don't get overwhelmed. They get to where they're like, oh, too many choices to choose from. So our team does a good job, and our vendors and our sales reps at these vendors do a good job of kind of keeping them dial in, holding their hand, guiding them through that process to keep it from being so overwhelming. Because there's a lot of choices.
Yeah, I always feel that way when I'm looking at salad dressings at the grocery store. And there's just like 75 different choices here.
Well, there's 18 different varieties of vanilla ice cream, and then you go, do I get vanilla bean? Do I get French vanilla? Do I get true vanilla?
Get Bluebell homemade vanilla. That's what you need to get.
Well, cookies and cream is the elite ice cream.
No, I agree.
Chocolate mint.
Hands
down.
Hang on.
Mark's
podcast is over. We're done.
But I mean, you go to Sherwin-Williams and look at a paint deck.
Oh my gosh.
There's 50 whites to choose from.
How many different ways can we have white?
Do I do strong? Exactly. Do I do strong white? Do I do bold white? Do I do cool white? Do I do? You look and you do I do heaven's fog? And you go, how am I supposed to?
Yeah. Right. Well, and then multiply that for like simple things like what kind of light plate switch do I want?
Yeah.
What kind of light switch and outlets and lighting and countertops, and how do I want the bevel?
Tile.
Yeah. What do I want the bevel to look like? And and it's just analysis paralysis is, what my wife would call it. It's just sensory overload.
It is.
And, pretty soon you're going to be looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall, and he's been, yeah.
So we have interior designers that we work tightly with, and they can be the clients can decide to have the interior designer be as involved as they want, or say, hey, we just want you to pick out our paint colors. We'll pick everything else after that. Or here's our sink faucet. We want our home built around this sink faucet. That's, or this light fixture. It happens. This light fixture's been in my family for umpteen years. I want to design my living room and my kitchen around this light fixture. And we take things like that into consideration. When we first engage a client, we send out a dream home questionnaire to our clients, and it talks about things. Is there any special artwork, or do you have any allergies? How many kids? Do you like to have family stay over? Do you want them to stay for a short period of time, or do you want them to stay for a long period of time? So all these things play into building a custom home, that we take that information, we analyze it, and we talk with our interior designer, our architect, and really create that perfect home for our clients.
That's some great questions to ask that would have never even come across my radar. But of course, you've been doing this long enough, and you hone the skills, and you figure out the questions that you need to ask.
Yeah.
But like, do you want family to stay over? Do you want them just there a short amount of time? Because I'm going to build them a very tiny guest room.
Yeah.
Or
No closet space. Don't even give them a closet.
Or no guest room at all. You have a 12-hour limit, and you are out.
That's right. Put them a futon in there, make it uncomfortable.
No,
Let's go full Murphy bed. Like, all right, here we go. Whoop, here you go. Got it.
Yeah, when I start thinking about this stuff, I'm just immediately thinking of, like, because I know what I would like and what my wife would like. She would love just a big soaker tub. My wife's a midwife. She's a lot of late hours delivering babies late at night at somebody's house. A lot of time just kind of hunched over, legs cramped, weird positions. And when she comes home, she would just love a huge soaker tub, put in some Epsom salt. But we don't have that. So, and for me, I'm like, I want a big shower, and I want the shower heads in the wall. And I just, I want to almost feel like I'm being flayed alive. Like I want the water pressure really heavy, and but I don't have that, and I would love that. Wouldn't look right in my tract home, but I would still do it.
Yeah,
if I had the money,
no doubt. And we can do it.
Well, but bathrooms. I mean, as you know, like bathrooms and kitchens sell the house.
Yeah.
There's two renovations that you can go for that would actually give you bang for the buck, and it's kitchen and it's bathrooms.
Yeah.
And more often than not, it's not necessarily, and I think Mark will back me up on this, it's not necessarily the fixtures in the kitchen. It's the flow of the kitchen. It's the way that the kitchen island, or the way that the kitchen counter, or the pull-up stools in the bar, or whatever actually fits with the rest of the house. More often than not, you can look and have somebody that has expertise in spatial design to be able to make a house more flowy or more cordoned off, really, or sectioned off. More often than not, you'd be like, you want to know what? This house would look 5 times bigger if you got rid of that little dumpy, stupid island that's right in the middle of it, and did nothing but other than just paint the cabinets. And oh, by the way, please, for the love of God, take your cabinets to the ceiling for the first and the last time ever. Please, for the love of God, nobody needs more dust catchers. Cabinets, ceiling.
To the ceiling.
End of story. I don't care if there's nothing there. I don't care if there's nothing but just a piece.
Or if you got to get a 12-foot ladder.
Exactly. Or exactly. You want to know what? You want to know something that would be really rad? You got a little library ladder that slides across the top so you can get all the stuff up, where the display shelves for the crystal that nobody uses except once a year.
Yeah.
Put all that stuff in there, backlight it, have little display case cabinetry, and a library ladder to go across. You want to know that one person that would be like, oh, that looks stupid. Everybody'd be like, whoa, you got a library ladder in your house. This is rad.
I mean, think about it. When you have holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever occasion that you're having family over, everybody congregates around the kitchen.
Yep.
Everybody congregates around the chef. You're cooking, you're sampling pieces. Everybody, so you want that to flow, and you want that to be open. That's why open concept floor plans are so popular right now. My home is open floor concept. Most of the homes that we build are that way. Most of the homes that clients are coming to us that want built are saying on that questionnaire, open floor plan concept. We want to entertain. So it's very important to think about that when designing a home and designing a kitchen, that it allows that for your client to have that as a congregating point instead of just a place to cook and clean and then move everything to a dining room. And bathrooms are so important. We're creating a lot of almost spa-like bathrooms nowadays. To your point, you want to just go in there and you want it to be like a car wash. You just stand up and spin around and you're clean.
100%.
So we're doing a lot of those. We're doing a lot of the wet rooms where the bathtub is inside the shower. A lot of great things that and there's a lot of cool new technology and ideas out there that create that. I can wake up and go, Alexa, start my shower. And it knows if I'm saying it, it knows if my wife's saying it, and it turns it to my preset temperature, turns on the shower heads and the jets or the steam shower that I want to the temperature I want. So it's
insane.
These modern luxuries are incredible, and they're not stupid expensive, but it just takes a lot of time and planning, which a lot of home builders don't do, and they don't think about lighting that goes into a home and mood lighting and accent lighting that is so important. That just gets overlooked. They're just putting can lights up and, a ceiling fan with a light. But the accent lighting just can be such a wow factor and give such a cool design effect to the home. So, and those are just some of the small things that we think about when we build a home.
No, that's awesome. Man, I want to get with you and design just a killer smoking room in a house.
Chris Struthers cigar humidor wine room / car wash shower.
No,
combine all of these things.
When do we start?
Where there's a little almost like a little dumbwaiter, like secret door opens and you can go select a cigar while you're in the car wash shower.
Well, and it's just I want the whole thing like kind of the rule in my house is that I follow this rule 95% of the time, which, if I've smoked a cigar, that I have to shower before bed. I want the George Jetson thing where I can just kind of get on the conveyor belt and it'll just take me through the shower car wash and then right into bed when it's done.
Love it. Let's do it. We can do it.
That's your next idea.
No, so what do you said what you're seeing a lot is just kind of the wet room, in the spa-like bathroom. And that's pretty awesome. What are you seeing? Like, I interviewed a guy the other day from Easley, Blue Ridge Cabinet and Design. They do all kind of cabinets.
Know them.
You know them?
Mm-hmm. I use they're one of our cabinet countertop vendors.
Okay, yeah. Yep. So my wife, so the owner Andrew Rodriguez, my wife has delivered 2 of their babies.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's how I know him, and he came on the show. And so that's connection right there.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool. Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Yeah, they're great.
But he was saying the other day that the kitchen is the heart of the home. And like you said, it's those family times, or not just family times, but other times the holidays. People are gathering there. We're all hanging out. People are cooking. And it's just that entertaining space. So the open floor plan makes a lot of sense. But what are y'all seeing in the kitchen area? A lot of.
We're seeing a lot of technology. Sinks that you can talk to. Hey, tell Moen to pour me a 1/4 cup of hot water, and you don't have to get out the measuring cup. You put the cup under there, wave your hand in front of it, it'll pour a 1/4 cup of hot water. You can say, Alexa, turn on hot water to wash dishes. Turns it to the actual hottest temperature that you can get.
How about Alexa, pour me 2 ounces of blends?
Well, it's available. It's out there.
Or whatever your bourbon of choice is.
It's out there. It exists. We're seeing a lot of technology and appliances where you're on your way home, you can open up on the app and preheat the oven, or you can throw a roast in the oven before you leave and set on a timer or open the app and have it cook. So when you get home, you can see on the app, you can look on a camera that's inside there and see how it's cooking, how it's basting, whatever's happening, make sure it's not burning to the ground. You can walk up to a trash pull out in a cabinet, wave your foot underneath it, it opens it up so you're not pulling a drawer, dump things in there. I mean, the technology and the conveniences that are available now are incredible. I just went to the International Builder Show in Las Vegas, which is a tremendous show, and they, of course, exhibit all the newest, latest, greatest things that are coming out, and there's truly some amazing things that people just aren't even aware of. So we like to bring that awareness back to some of the homes that we build and create some of these neat functions that will separate us from the next guy. Some of the craziest things. Well, I don't know if you want me to get into.
Yeah,
that now.
Good. Let's get crazy.
One of the craziest things that I'm working on with a potential client right now is a turntable in their driveway. So if you've got a real tight driveway that you can't back out, you pull onto and you can either put it in the garage, or you can put it out in front of the garage. You drive on this thing, and it is literally a rotating disc that turns the car around, and you just pull off.
I've seen that.
Craziest thing. I mean, they're pretty expensive. They're about $40,000, but just the thought of having because we build a lot of homes where you got really tight driveways,
right?
But the convenience of that is just
you don't have to turn around.
Yeah, incredible.
Well, I've even seen, and this is probably not super crazy, but it was crazy to me. But I've seen stuff, just on social media or wherever I happen to see it. But just people, especially if you live in a place where you get lots of snow or ice, they have like freaking heated driveways.
Yeah.
I'm like, what in the world? Since when are we heating driveways?
Yeah, it's a big thing up north.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Big thing up north. And that's another thing we put a lot of attention to. If you drive it, most of my homes, if you drive by, you can tell it's built by someone different, especially through here. A lot of people can tell that was my home. I pay a lot of attention to the driveways. I just don't pour a slab concrete driveway. We'll put designs in it. We'll put AstroTurf. We'll put crushed slate. We'll put lighting in it. So we pay attention to things like the driveway as well, where most people would think, I just want a slab concrete drive, or we'll stamp it or put, colored concrete in it. So it's just the attention to detail on some of the things like that.
Yeah. We look like you're about to say something.
No. For once, I'm speechless.
Here's another crazy request from a client that we're currently just about finished up. So he's got a putting green. This is up in the Cliffs Valley. He's got 2-tiered putting green. This was his idea, so I can't take credit for it. So on the top tier putting green, along the fringe, we're putting a hand-carved bear's head with a mouth, like a putting green, like a little putt-putt course, and you putt the ball into the mouth of the bear. Goes through a tube down to the second tier and comes out the hand-carved bear's ass.
That's funny. Wow.
When he brought that up to me, he's like, what do you think about we doing this? I'm like, yeah, that's insane. He's like, no, seriously, what do you think about doing this? I want to do it. It's like, can't say no. Let's do it.
Just make it happen.
Customer's always right. Yes, sir. I'll go for it.
That's right.
I'm going to go get a couple of elbow joints for PVC. Let's rock and roll.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's great. So basically when you sign up with Mark Thoennes Home Builders, sky's the limit.
It is.
I mean, only limited by your budget, but the sky's the limit. Like if you can conceptualize it, and it is physically possible, you're going to make it happen.
A way to do it. I love the challenge, and that's part of my passion for this. The designing of it, the figuring out a way to be creative and do some of these unique things. That's what I love. That's what gets me up in the morning. That's what keeps me up at night till 2 a.m. on the internet and doing research and stuff like that, is truly doing things that are outside of the typical box of construction. That's what gets me going.
That's awesome. So, my original question before we ran all of that, which is fine, was what are some things you've seen that your clients have been totally unprepared for? Follow-up question to that is, what are some items that would be really wise for people to strongly consider before starting down the journey of building their own custom home?
That's a good question. Man. I think I need come back to me.
We'll come back to that.
Come back to me on that.
Yeah. Okay.
I need to think about
I could just think of a few things off the top of my head. Obviously, finance is a big deal.
It is.
Are you prepared to, or do you have the patience for this process? Because we're 12 to 18 months, depending on how specialized you want to get. But there's, obviously, you know a ton more about this than I do. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No.
A lot of clients, we live in a time now where it's almost instant gratification. People expect instant gratification throughout all kinds of aspects of life. But to truly get a custom home designed like something like we're talking about, that's an important thing that they need to consider and take into account, that it's not going to happen overnight if you want it done right. You need to have patience, because it's a very stressful, can be taxing on on a relationship.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of times when the husband and the wife can't agree on something, it can create a little bit of frustration between the two. So we try to limit that by guiding the clients and being almost an intermediary for that process to give them expectations and tell them that this is going to be stressful. We're going to screw up. We do. We screw up things, but we're here to fix it and make it as easy and right as possible. Communication is extremely important, and that goes back to kind of our process. The software that we have in place allows us to communicate openly with our clients and instantly with our clients. We have a custom branded app that our clients get, whether they're out-of-state clients that we're building for here, that they get daily logs, they get updates and pictures of the process, and they get to see what's happening on the job site in real time. So those are just some of the things that we put in place that help us keep some of those issues from happening.
Yeah.
Does it happen? Sure, but this helps keep that from happening as often as it can.
Sure. It's just a thought that came into my head when I was thinking about custom things. I mean, this is an open air space. Well, of course, you've got a solid roof here, and you can raise and lower the screens here to have airflow, and it's not totally enclosed in. I do the vast majority of podcasts from my patio in my home in Easley, and I have like a 8x12 umbrella that opens up, but depending on the time of day, even though I have the umbrella, we're still not in the shade. I would love some kind of feature if I had like an umbrella or something. If you wanted, it tracks the sun and moves so that you're always in the shade.
I love it.
I don't know if that exists, but
that's
something you can make happen.
It may.
It's just, I don't know.
We may need
so
to
you have an articulating arm on an awning.
Yeah.
That operates on a timer, or it just operates on a timer, and then you just reset it.
Sounds easy enough.
I don't know. Sounds easy enough. We'll see. I mean, it's not the flux capacitor. Coming soon to a Mark Thoennes home near you is the sun tracking sunshade. Yes.
Yeah. Gadget sunshade.
Yeah. There's an idea. You heard it here first. Co-question for the both of you. Buying a luxury custom home, let's stipulate, certainly comes with a price tag. Everything does, but this comes with a serious price tag. But as realtors and builders, how do we help potential buyers see the value of that luxury home and why it would be a better choice over a really nice production home if they can afford it?
Let me speak first on that from a builder's perspective. So many people undervalue real estate agents. They think they're overpaid. They don't do their job.
Thank you.
And I get it. I see both sides of it, but I see the value in a real estate agent. I think they need to be compensated. They can open the eyes to a client, something that they can't see or that they may not be thinking of. So the value in what they're being compensated for is that vast knowledge of understanding their clients, just like me as a custom home builder, understanding their clients to what their true needs are and how they want to live in a home and what things they should consider when purchasing a home, the things that they may not have even thought of. So I see the true value in using real estate agents on the sell side and on the buy side. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and I think from the luxury perspective, to Mark's point, not to toot the real estate agent's horn, but really our job is to set the table in the proper way. And so the amount of work that we do on the front end helps clear up most, not all, but most of the issues that occur along the way. Problems are going to happen. People are going to screw up. There's going to be issues, delays, change orders, whatever that might be, but the value, especially from a luxury perspective, is that you're signing up for an experience, and it is my job to curate that experience. And the best way to do that is on the front end, is to really get in the weeds with what do you want? This is not ordering off the menu. This is saying, what do you want? Help me make help me make the meal for you, not choosing from a list of
this is
things that are on the menu.
Yeah,
right? This isn't just choosing from a set list of services, because those services that cheapens everything. Just exactly the same way that from your perspective as a custom home builder, just to say chandelier's $2,500, quartz is $38 a square foot. And then you do that, and then now all of a sudden, all I am is Home Depot.
Yeah.
Well, what goes into all of that? What is the process? Why do we take 4 months to go through the design build process? Why do we take 2, 3, sometimes 4, 5, 6 meetings to take the time to learn our clients' interests, whether we're listing a home or helping someone buy a home or invest for that matter? You have to take the time up front to ensure that the time spent afterwards, that's where they already know the value. And then you get there, more than likely you get there quicker, and you get there with way less headaches. You don't necessarily get there cheaper, but you get what you want.
Yeah, I guess. Well, my question, I suppose, was why, if they can afford it, a custom luxury home would be better for them than a production. So
you look at it in terms of, all right, I got 2 pairs of shoes. I got 1 pair of shoes that I bought from Walmart that I go, what the hell? If they break in 3 weeks, no problem at all. But then I go buy a pair of Gucci loafers with the intent that those are not going to last just for me, but more than likely, if I take care of that, I can give them to my son at some point in time.
Yeah.
You're not purchasing a commodity. You are purchasing an item that can't be replicated.
Yeah.
And a custom home, if you want a custom home, if you want a custom experience, if you don't want to 3 years from now wake up and be like, this freaking sunroom, I swear to God, how many people live with that irritation in the space that they occupy the most out of all other spaces, give or take the office or wherever? It's the home.
Yeah.
And so many people settle because that's what's in the house.
Yeah.
It checks 6 out of my 7 boxes,
right?
But I didn't get to do the whole thing from start to finish and then make where you go, you are going to have to pry these keys out of my dead cold fingers.
Yeah. And that's, most of my clients come to me and are like, we just can't find the house that checks all our boxes. And that's where we come in.
Yeah.
We're going to check every box that they want off and give them
that's
what
the difference.
Want.
Like I like my house, don't get me wrong, but just and for financial reasons, this is what I could afford, and it works. We make it work, but it's not designed by me for my life and for how I would like my house to flow. Doesn't have my, like, if I had the money and I would take my downstairs guest room. If I was just building, a custom house, I would build my man room, which would be a smoking room with negative airflow, so I can open the door. Doesn't get into the rest of the house. It has its own HVAC system, so the smoke doesn't go through the rest of the house. It's set up for recording podcasts and for watching sports. I would have that. It's got the bourbon bar in there. It's got its own sweet humidor section, not a tabletop humidor. It's got, it's got its own freaking humidor room in there. And that's the difference between, do I want a custom home that fits my lifestyle, or do I want to make adjustments in this house, in this production home?
Yeah. And we'll also some clients have unrealistic budgets or they can't get everything they want. So part of my job and my team is to, lack of a better word, value engineer it, figure out a way to get as close to that as possible, or to get the same look as possible with a different product or a different way of doing it. They may not be able to go with Pella windows. They may have to go with Geldwin windows, but we can get the same look, but it may not just be quite the same quality, but it fits in their budget and it's going to accomplish a lot of the same goals, but they can't say, oh, I have Pella windows, I've got Geldwin windows. So there's a lot of things that it's my job to figure out a way to get as close to this client's expectations as we can without just completely blowing the budget.
Yeah.
And we do a good job of that as well.
Sure.
Because they may not be thinking of certain things that they want. And a lot of times what they don't know, they don't know. And we'll figure out creative ways to get them to the finish line of what they want.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's a big process and a lot of variables, in building a custom home. I mean, my eyes are being open to a lot of things in this podcast, and I think it's pretty sweet.
Thank you.
What you do. I think it's awesome, and definitely going to get on your website and check out some of your work and on your social media because I want to see the really cool stuff you're building.
Oh, Mark's truck's gonna be in your driveway in a couple of days trying to look at that reverse airflow, and you see him.
No, I'm serious.
All right, I got this. Okay, hold on. I got an idea.
You see, all right, like my wife, I thought about this. My wife wants to turn our downstairs guest room into a home office, and I know it's never going to happen for me to make that my podcast smoking room, and for now the best I could do would be let me just put in a ductless AC unit into this room. We'll block off the return so this doesn't go through the rest of the house. But I'm like, how do you deal with the and I'll put a rabbit air in there for smoke filtration. But I spent a lot of time thinking about this. I'm like, what if you just had a negative airflow room like they have in the hospitals for like so whenever you open the door, stuff's not coming out, it's going in. I'm like, yeah, if you had a smoking room with negative airflow and then it had its own dedicated HVAC and air filtration, never even going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And then I start getting, kind of starry-eyed and excited. I don't, but I think that sounds like a great project.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can make it happen. I want like some, the leather tufted couches and certain chairs. And then, like I said, the screen TV so I can watch the Braves lose. Miserable start to the season.
There's always going to be things like, I put a lot of time and effort in to design this home and many homes. There's always going to be things you would change after you moved into it and lived in it. There's always going to be things you're like, I think I could have done this differently, or, oh, I wish I would have done this. So there's never going to be the perfect home.
Yeah.
But we get pretty close, or at least we try to.
We talk about it in the business all the time. If you can get 80% of the way there, you're doing pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question, Richard. That's it's semi-related because this is all real estate, but it's a little bit off topic, and it's something I've been thinking about. I should probably know the answer to this question. But whenever I interviewed you several months ago, you made a statement that the realtor's job is to protect the public.
Mm-hmm.
From what and from whom?
So that's more so from the realtor's code of ethics,
right?
And it starts from underneath all is the land, and it is our job to protect the public. And essentially, what it is to utilize our expertise to help people. There was a period of time when, and not to get off in the weeds about this, but there was a period of time where real estate agents, they were called curb stoners, essentially, and
different kind of stoner than we know today.
Exactly, much different. This is actually much more American History X than it was smoking a joint on the streets corner. And so the phrase "protect the public" became the ethical mantra for the real estate profession, because it is our job to be custodians of people buying and selling real property. And there is no bigger piece of liberty, no bigger piece of freedom that exists in this world other than property rights. Above all else, there are property rights, and then there's every other right. Point blank, period. And so protect the public essentially means that we are the custodians of the future of the people that choose to own property, and it is our job to protect those rights of property ownership and to help us steward those people, whether they're buying, selling, investing, what have you.
Well, that's like the one of the cornerstones, like you said, of America. You go back into monarch times. King, if he wants to come in your house, he's coming in. But here
Correct.
in our country and in this day and age, no, a man's home is his castle. That's the thing. Like, you don't get to just come in here. This is my property. I own it. You come in here without permission, you get shot in the face, or whatever the case may be. And so, yeah, I mean, property rights are a big deal. And it used to be, from what I understand, in some of that code of ethics and NAR training and all that stuff, you know, protection for buyers used to not even exist.
No.
There was no buyer representation. And from what I understand, that originated here.
Caveat emptor, buyer beware. Buyer beware. It was literally, if caveat emptor was literally the rule of the land, and that was just, if you're buying it, you better get your stuff together, because I can't guarantee nothing. This was the olden days, mind you, but that's why, love it or hate it, the way that things have gone in certain times, that was why the National Association of Realtors was invented, was to help protect the public, buy side and sell side, in transactions, to be able to provide a fiduciary responsibility for buyers and sellers of real estate, because, quite frankly, property rights are the ultimate right and the ultimate key to freedom. And as the philosopher Snoop Dogg once said, if you don't own land, you don't own nothing.
No, that's very true.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to fact check you.
The philosopher Snoop Dogg, he owns a lot of stuff now.
He does. Including a lot of land.
Including a lot of land, yeah. And my understanding also was
farmland.
Sure. Was that buyer representation kind of started here in South Carolina.
We started practicing it. The first buyer representation agreement was written in the early 90s on Wade Hampton Boulevard in Greenville, South Carolina.
I did not know that.
So all of these buyer rep agreements and all of this stuff of late, we've been playing the buyer representation game for longer than any other state in the union.
No,
which is also why ours makes a whole lot more sense than every other state in the union's buyer agency agreement. And we also coach and counsel other state associations on how to rewrite their buyer agency agreements.
Huh. Yeah, no, it's really great. And, you know, I try and just tell people, like what you said in our podcast, why would you want to go into a legal contract unrepresented?
Why would you want to go into a court of law and say, I'm going to represent myself? You have that right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have that right. I don't say it's a good idea, but you have that right.
Yeah.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah.
But if you want a good result, wouldn't you have somebody that's been there before? I don't know if I've told this story, but there's a guy falls down in a well.
I'm sure you've told it, but I haven't heard from you.
I haven't told it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But guy falls down in a well. Manhole cover slips, falls in. Priest walks by. Father, would you help me out? I'm stuck down in this hole and there's no way out. Father goes, I understand, my son. Writes a prayer down, drops a prayer down in the hole, walks on. Doctor walks by. Doc, can you help me out? Can you help me out? Doctor writes a prescription, throws it down in the hole. Then his best friend walks by. He goes, hey, buddy, I'm stuck down in this hole and I don't know how to get out. Guy jumps down in the hole with him. He goes, what the hell is wrong with you, you moron? I just said I was stuck in this hole. He goes, yeah, I've been down here before. I know how to get out. The fact of the matter is if you want somebody by your side, you got to know somebody who's been through it before.
So true.
It's a good story. Mm-hmm. It's not dissimilar to the Good Samaritan story in the gospel accounts.
Very true. Very true. It is almost equally parallel.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get on my ancient apocalypse kick, so we'll save that for another.
Ooh, that sounds like another podcast episode.
We'll save that for another day.
Yeah. Mark, do you have before we move on, do you have anything else that you'd want to talk about when it comes to the custom home building side of things?
No, I think I touched base a little bit. You had asked me in that questionnaire about the name, how I came up with the name of my company.
Yeah, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, but we can go ahead and jump there now if you want to.
Originally back in 2008, when I opened my company, I named it Marquee Homes. Just to play on my name, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. And then a few years later, it was a conscious move for me, kind of for accountability. I knew if my name was on the sign or on the product or on the project that I'm putting out there, and I had to stand behind it.
Yeah.
I had to stand behind my name. I wanted to be able to walk around with my head held high. So it made me be really conscious of what I'm putting out there and how I'm treating my clients and what I'm doing for my clients, because it is my name.
Yeah, well, it's big because it's not just your name, but it's your wife's name, and it's your kid's name, and you're putting like kind of a bullseye on everybody that carries that name.
That's so true.
So you got to like really toe the line.
Yeah. So that's how I decided to use that for my building company. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the name.
Yeah, no. Well, as you know, we've been talking a lot about real estate, but if you are looking to buy or sell in beautiful Greenville, because who isn't? As the upstate explodes, people are moving here in droves. Maybe you want to buy a home and grab the equity that will come over the next decade or couple of decades in the upstate, or maybe you want to capitalize on the need for housing and sell your home for top dollar. As a realtor with C. Joyner and a member of Nexus Group, I am your local expert. It is our aim to get you the best deal in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of disruption to your personal life. We offer a personalized experience, paying great attention to your needs, a service-oriented mindset, expert market analysis, and proven results. From downtown condos to spacious family homes and custom homes with Mark Thoennes. Just kidding. His wife does all that. We will guide you every step of the way. Let our experience work for you. You can call me today, 864-207-2316, or visit my website, Chris Strother, that's STROTHER, chrisstrother.cdanjoyner.com. So moving on from custom home building to Mark Thoennes, the person. I was reading through a lot of the things that you shared with me before today, and you got a lot of things under your belt, man. I mean, car stereo shop, Soundwave. Soundwave's at 22 years old. Sunbusters, that is commercial and residential window tinting. You know, I always thought it would be cool on a residential home. You know how we have people that wear transition lenses?
Yeah.
That if we just made our windows with that tech, and so as the sun just comes up, the windows tint automatically, and you don't need like drapes or shades or blinds. I don't know why
they don't have it automatically, but they have it now. You can push a button or tell them something go.
And they just tint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with the transition lens, you wouldn't have to push a button.
Yeah.
But some people do want to let the natural sunlight in, and so that's a negative. But anyway, Sunbusters, commercial and residential window tinting, open a high-end cabinet shop, launched, as you mentioned, Marquee Homes in 2008, and semi-professional poker player.
A hell of a time to open. There was a hell of a time to open a home building company in 2008. And that was impeccable time.
That was great.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Did you open that like before everything blew up or the tail end? Or
so it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I didn't have a bunch of inventory. I didn't have a bunch of homes out there just waiting to be sold. I was fortunate. I only had 2 homes at the time. So I fire sold one and moved into the other one to save my banking relationships and my credit and stuff. And that's how I survived the market crash. So I didn't get stuck holding the bag on a lot of properties. And that's when I became, I guess you could say, a semi-professional poker player at the time. Started out as a hobby and just grew into something kind of big.
Yeah. Now
he is really good.
I suck at poker. You know what? I'm going to tell. So Andrew Rodriguez at Blue Ridge, you know, they do almost like a monthly poker night over there, and he's invited me several times, and I'm like, I'm not coming here anymore just because I just come here and lose money, and I can't afford to do that. Poker's not my thing, you know. I mean, the cigars and poker, and I'm like, dude, why didn't you put some type of ventilation in your showroom? We could have just smoked in here while we played poker. And he kicks himself for not doing that, but you know, whatever. But I'm going to tell him to invite you.
Please do.
Yeah, I will. Hey, Andrew.
Don't give him my backstory.
Just say, hey, I got this guy Mark that will.
He'll know. He obviously he'll know the name, but I'm just like, hey, I interviewed Mark Thoennes the other day, and I told him that y'all have a poker game. He's like, yeah, I would love to be a part of that. So I'm going to tell him, and yeah, maybe you can get me some of my money back.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Anyway, so car stereo. So you're just installing sound systems in.
Yeah,
in
the
people's rides,
big loud boom boxes, the neon lights, the stuff that makes your hair shake and
it rattles your teeth out of your head and all that stuff. Are you still like really big into sound and outfit your home with, no?
No, I'm not. And it wasn't a successful business. It was my first business. Didn't do well, but I learned so much from it, and it was a fun business. I enjoyed it, but yeah. Big booms, big loud stereo system. We used to do competitions and stuff, and the systems that would blow out the front windshield. So
yeah. Well, was it? Well, I mean, but was that kind of just because you like loud music, or is it because? I mean, what was the catalyst to be like, man, I want to open a auto stereo shop?
I think it's just the creativity in me that rolls into real estate and design and architectural design and stuff like that. I liked designing things, designing systems, and how do I get 6,000 watts and 4 18-inch subwoofers in this 1987 Mazda RX-7 hatchback, So it's just I think it was the creativity and the design factor and the entrepreneurial spirit that I had, and that drove me to do that. I wasn't really and haven't truly been a big music guy, but I just like the creativity of doing the difficult things and creating something that most people can't think about. So that's what we were, a custom stereo shop.
Sure. And then you went from that to tinting windows in residential and commercial.
It started out automotive. We offered window tinting at there in automotive and a little bit of residential and commercial, but then that started to grow, and the car stereo shop wasn't, you're not going to make a great living, in my opinion, doing car stereos when you're just doing it.
It's not what it used to be.
It's not. Some people have done real well in it. But then the residential side just grew of window tinting just grew into something that was much better, and started doing a lot of residential and commercial. Then I started being around homes and being around building and construction and new homes. And then I bought my first house and didn't have a bunch of money and wanted to rehab it and fix a lot of things and build a lot of things myself. So I started buying a bunch of tools, and I had a little workshop and started building cabinets and porch swings and baby cribs and furniture and stuff, and that grew into me deciding to open up a custom cabinet shop, which we grew into a 12,000 square foot manufacturing facility and did a lot of high-end residential cabinetry in a lot of the homes around Greenville. Really enjoyed the design aspect of that and creating incredible cabinetry. And then 08 hit. I had that at the same time that I was just starting my construction company, and had to close the doors on that just because there wasn't a lot going on and wasn't many homes being built. So that's kind of how that evolved from car stereos into custom cabinet making.
Yeah. And then it was like, man, I'm going to play poker.
That started out as a hobby as well. We were playing, 5-cent, 10-cent poker nights.
See, that's the kind of poker that I can get into. Not going to Andrews where it's $100 buy-in. Yeah. I mean, if we're just playing nickels and dimes, I can do that.
So I started that in 2003 when the whole Chris Moneymaker boom, when he won that the World Series of Poker on a $23 buy-in online tournament and turned it into however many millions he did, and everybody started playing poker.
That was like a 7 or 8 year boom of just everybody was playing online hold'em and everything. And then if you didn't play online hold'em, and people were like, "What's wrong with you, man?"
Everybody was doing it, just sitting on the computer, and that's when I really got into it. Was playing just as a hobby, and then 2008, I didn't really have any source of income, and I was making a little bit of money just playing online and playing in home games and stuff around, and had a decent little score in online poker that I parlayed that into some backing. We call them horse stables, where I would put up the money to back other players that are better than me but had poor money management skills, and literally created like a business out of it.
That's crazy.
And put them in these big poker tournaments, and I'd back them financially, and if they'd have winnings, we'd split the profit, and had some really good luck and runs with the guys that I associated with, and turned that into something great, and that allowed me to take that and roll it into real estate, which is its own form of gambling. But poker's not really gambling.
No.
Let's be real. It's not really. A lot of people will say it's gambling, but you put me in front of a monkey and play poker, I'll beat them, all the time. So it truly is a skill set. There's a lot of emotions and ticks and tells and just how people handle things. And
you're right. Ticks and tells, and then you're looking at the cards in your hand and what's on the table, and there's only 4 of every card. And so then you're calculating odds and who could possibly be holding what. I mean, that's the mystery of it, but it's not 100% gambling.
It's not. And it's not 100% foolproof.
Yeah.
You get unlucky on live or die by the river.
Yeah. So you are a semi-professional poker player / what'd you call it? A back-end horse stable?
A horse stable.
Horse stable. Backer. Poker backer.
You're a poker. Okay. But then you come back to real estate and you decide I'm pushing all my chips here to keep with the poker analogy. I'm going to be a home builder. But my question is, what made you say I am going to be a luxury custom home builder versus I'm just going to build a bunch of production homes and, maximize everything I can on this 15 acres of land or whatever it is.
Sure. So let's start with the poker. So, with poker, I was traveling a lot and I was away from my family a lot. And, I had young kids at this time, and it kept me from them, but it's what I had to do. It's what was putting food on the table at the time. But it started wearing on me, and then we started to see a turn in the market. This is around 2013. So that's when I decided, hey, let me dive back into this real estate game. And that's when I wasn't building custom homes for clients. I didn't have clients. I didn't have a brand. So I was doing speculative building or rehabs that I just purchased to sell and stuff like that. So that's when I went in and started deciding that I don't want to just be a fix and flipper. I don't want to put just lipstick on a pig. I want to create something of value. I want to create something that people are excited to come home to and love. And I think that's where it probably started. I think the first house I did, like I said, was in 2013, where I think I kind of flipped the script over here and put into this home a lot of the luxury and high-end finishes in this 1,000 square foot home that you'd see in a 6,000 square foot home on the other side of Augusta Road. It's funny, Augusta Road has 2 sides of the street, but it really does. So I was on this side of the street and decided, hey, I'm gonna bring that over to this side of the neighborhood, and really finished it out. And everybody thought I was crazy. There's no way you're gonna get this, or I can't believe you're building in this area. The house I bought the home from was an accountant of mine. He's like, Mark, I got this house. I can't keep a tenant in there. They keep trashing it. You want to buy it? And I was like, yeah, I'll buy it. How much you want for it? $50,000. Well, now that same house over here is going for $250,000, $325,000. That needs to be rehabbed or renovated. So in that short period of time, that 10 to 12 years, it just shows that, these homes that I was buying for $50,000, I'm now paying $250,000, $300,000. that just kind of goes to show how the property values have been brought up with what's going on over here and the revitalization that we're doing in a short period of 10 to 12 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome just to really say, I mean, and obviously production home builders have their place. They serve a purpose. But to say, no, I want to create something that's really of value in my eyes, but also to my clients, that's very special to them. And as to what you were saying, Richard, that this is a home that you can pass on to your children, that is just, it's going to be amazing for a very, very long time versus just something that's been stamped out every fifth house down the street, same floor plan, same terrible contractor grade paint on the wall that leaves a mark everywhere you touch it. You know, I had that problem in my house, but you know, we're working on that.
Sure.
And just with everything that we talked about, from car stereos to window tinting to poker and luxury homes, you're an entrepreneur at heart. What are some of the most valuable lessons you've learned along the way about entrepreneurship?
You're gonna fail. At least I did. I've failed multiple times. I've had businesses that didn't succeed. As long as you learn from those mistakes and you excel from there and make the changes that need to be, that's probably the biggest thing. And don't give up. I mean, dig your heels in the sand and grind it out. Even in my current company that I've been through some very challenging times financially. You know, whereas on my wife at sometimes, you know, late nights, me working on the computer or going to check on a client's house that had some sort of issue at 10 o'clock at night. So, you know, it's really just not being afraid to fail, not being afraid to make mistakes, but just do right by people, do the right thing, have integrity, and be able to walk around with your head up high and know that you did the right thing, whether it was perceived by a client as it wasn't. Just know in your heart that you've done the right thing and do right by people.
Yeah. You know, the bulk of my podcast interviews are with entrepreneurs, people who start stuff. And I kind of like to ask this question because, you know, hopefully there are people out there listening that are thinking about starting a business or whatever. And I've got a couple of them going. And, you know, I just find that common theme. Just entrepreneurship, it's not for everyone. Mm-hmm. I understand that. No, but that failure, and I honestly, I think the cure to failure is just to fail. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, and if you do it enough, but you have the mindset that nobody can stop me but me.
Yeah.
You know, that's really the thing. And I take inspiration from a couple of different places, you know, the Thomas Edison quote, which is, I've not failed 1,000 times. I've just figured out 999 ways that didn't work, you know, and you finally get that one. But one recent quote I read somewhere, I don't remember where, that I've kind of latched onto is, a winner is just a loser who tried one more time.
I love it.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that grind that, if you want it bad enough, you're going to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And nothing's going to stop you. And I think that goes for luxury custom home building, being a real estate agent, running whatever business you want to start. You just have to be prepared to make mistakes, learn from them, learn that when people tell you no, it doesn't really mean anything and you're on to the next person. Or I don't know. It's an internal drive.
It is, and I think the lifestyle, the money or the profit or the whatever is a byproduct of what I do. I'm not doing this necessarily for the money. I feel it's a byproduct of what I'm doing and what I'm putting out there.
Yeah.
it's almost a bonus. And I know if I put these homes out there and I do right by my clients and I build these products to showcase what my abilities are, that's just the money's the byproduct of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Anybody at the table want to take a wild guess at how much money I make on this podcast? Zero.
It's about how much money I've made on this podcast.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't do the podcast for the money. You know, I mean, if it was for the money, I wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
It doesn't make me anything.
You do it for the rooms that you get to get into.
No, seriously.
I'm serious.
That's exactly,
that's it.
I do it as a fun way to have interesting conversations with local people such as yourselves, promote their businesses to the local community. You know, this is not a national podcast. This is a podcast about the upstate of South Carolina. Now, are there national people listening? Maybe. I mean, I had, you know, the other day, I think I had like 80 hours of listening in the last 30 days and 170 streams. And so there are some people listening, and I appreciate them. But this is a great way for me to promote local people, promote my local businesses, meet interesting people, and like you said, get into the rooms that I would not otherwise be able to get into. Maybe one day it will produce a byproduct.
Yeah.
You know, my cigar business, it's not making me rich, but I have bigger vision for that than where it is now. And one thing that you and CDJ has really drilled into me as a person, that then this applies to any entrepreneur, not just to being a realtor. You can finish the statement, Richard. You cannot control outcomes. You can only control
Inputs.
Input.
And you can't, and, you know, to Mark's point, you know, a lot of the time for me, if you're the person that feels like they've just got that lucky rabbit's foot in their pocket, you're not learning anything. You get away with everything. You just keep on kind of cruising, and that mentality sort of gets embedded into your psychology. Whereas if I've messed up, that means I'm trying.
Yeah.
A lot of people that get that mentality go, oh man, if I fail, oof, I got to go away I have to walk away from that. That's putting your hand on a hot stove versus realizing, oh, well, there's a better solution.
Yeah.
There's a better solution for that the next time. Instead of saying, I'm never going near a
Right.
stove again,
Right.
I go, what do I do with that? Perhaps I could put a pan on it and put eggs in it, and I can make an omelet. It's the same hot pan that burned my hand is the same one that'll make an omelet. And then I go, okay, how do I use this to figure something else out? And if I haven't screwed up and started from freaking rock bottom once or twice or three times, I don't have that same gear, if you want to call it that gear that's like, nah, I'm that guy that's been in the hole before.
Mm-hmm.
I know the way out. You can throw me in whatever hole you want to.
Right.
I've been in there before. I'll get out because I know I'm going to use what I've learned to my advantage to be able to go and say, this is here's a solution. Now I can find another solution. I can find the same solution, but a better solution. And whether that's home building, whether that's building a business, whether that's in your life, with your intramarital relationships, your relationships with your kids, it's like no parent ever walked through getting somebody into college without screwing up colossally.
Amen to that.
On many different occasions. And it's like, oh, now I don't have to hate myself because I yelled at her for some stupid thing that actually really, if I want to think about it, it was just me being mad about something. And expecting something of my daughter or my son or my brother or my wife or my husband or whomever that is, or my coworker for that matter, that's a little bit of me projecting on to something else rather than saying, let's do that a little different next
Right,
time.
right.
But I know with that entrepreneurial spirit, I know there is a next time.
Yeah.
Because if I get the next chance, I ain't going to do that again.
Yep. That's a fact.
I might screw up some other way, but I ain't going to do that again.
Yep.
And I think that's what makes an entrepreneur tick, is that they know that no matter what, even if they're left with zero, I can come back tomorrow.
That's exactly how I feel.
No matter what, even if I'm done, dusted, I can come back tomorrow.
Yep. Figure it out.
And I'll
figure it out.
And I will not do that again.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I read some, I've read so many things, I can't remember where they're from, but I just read a quote from somebody who said, I quit every Friday and start again on Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, yeah.
I live by a motto that it'll always work out. It'll work itself out. No problem's too big that it will not work itself out. One way or another, it'll work itself out. I could go back to zero and I'll climb back to the top. One way or another, it'll work itself out. That's my mindset. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to start over because I know I can do it again.
That really is the entrepreneur mindset. You know, when I talked to somebody a while back, in fact, so amongst all the things that I'm doing, I'm working on like voiceover work and minor acting, and I had this background acting role several weeks back. And one of the kids that was in the film, we were talking before the shoot, and it was my first anything. And he was talking about being an entrepreneur, and he's like, "What's the difference, you know, between an entrepreneur and somebody that's working in a business?" And I said, "Well, entrepreneurship's not for everyone, but an entrepreneur gets to the point to where they are willing to bet on themselves and take risks instead of security. The person who is working at whatever store as an employee, let's quantify that by saying they don't have the entrepreneurial spirit. They're happy working at this company, and that's fine. That is security for them. They know, I'm going to show up. I'm going to work 40 to 50 hours a week. I'm going to get a guaranteed paycheck. I'm going to, same thing over and over and over.
There's be said for that.
No, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Good for them. I'm happy for them. If they're putting food on the table and taking care of themselves and their family, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not downplaying it, but they have security. An entrepreneur says, I want to do something else, either like for myself or bet on myself, or I'm tired of making money for other people, and I am willing to take a risk and let go of security. And to your point, I'm going to fall flat on my face. I'm going to fail, but I will climb to the top again and again and again if I have to.
Yeah.
You know,
I get a lot of like not snide comment. Oh, you're traveling again. Oh, you're on vacation again, and things like that. But they don't see me staying up at 2 a.m. in the morning working on problems or emails or designing houses. Come 6 o'clock, I don't get to clock out.
Right.
I don't. I choose not to. That's what's built in me and instilled in me. I'm just constantly grinding, constantly thinking, how can I improve my business? How can I improve my client experiences? How can I create a better life for my wife and my children?
Yeah.
And that's just how my brain is wired. So there's a lot to be said that, and there's upsides and downsides to both sides of the track, I guess. So not one's right or wrong.
No,
it's just a different.
Yeah, well, and that you're going on vacation again. Well, yeah, but you worked hard for that.
Yeah.
And you've earned that. And just, I don't go into and this is just me, but I don't go into my podcasts empty-handed. Nobody saw that on Sunday evening at 6 o'clock, I'm elbow deep in all these show notes to make for what I hope will be a good, guided, interesting conversation, because nobody listens to a boring podcast. It has to have structure and it has to have flow, and the people need to be interesting, and I need to ask good questions, but nobody
I told you I was nervous as can be coming into this thing.
Yeah.
That's why, Richard, come help me. But man, I mean, you've done a phenomenal job in this. You've made me feel comfortable. Questions have been intriguing. So yeah, I mean, kudos to you. And I can only imagine what the backstory is to preparing for all this. And that's part of that grind.
Yeah, it is, and I appreciate that. When we were done, I was going to ask you how you felt, because I knew you were like kind of really nervous, and I tried to tell you beforehand. Look, it's super casual, it's conversational, it's not confrontational or anything like that. I'm just here to have a nice conversation and a good time, and hopefully that came across. So yeah, but that's all like you said, that's all the back end stuff nobody sees.
Yep.
And you just put in the work, and you put in the work, and you put in the work, and it's the law of sowing and reaping. And one of my favorite things to tell people and teach about that is there's 3 indisputable laws to the harvest. You always reap, number 1, what you sow. You always reap, number 2, more than you sow, and number 3, you always reap later than you sow.
Yeah.
But you will reap.
Yeah.
If I don't plant anything in spring, well, there ain't going to be a harvest. So I have to plant something, and if I plant enough, what I reap will be multiplied. Much more than what I plant. And and then you just have to be patient and work the process.
Yeah. That's people waiting for things to come to them, and that's just not an entrepreneurial mindset. You got to go out and get it.
Yeah. 100%.
That's what you're doing.
And that's exactly right. I mean, I was a pastor for 12 years in Southern California, and one of the things I always said is, just from a biblical perspective, or not, like, God feeds the birds of the air, but he doesn't throw it in their nest. Got to go out and get it.
That's right.
So anyhow, building homes, especially luxury homes, it's got to be a lot like playing poker. Now, of course, you've enlightened us that poker really isn't gambling. And so building luxury custom homes, it's not 100% gambling, but there is some gamble there.
Ton of gamble.
Right. Is it more gambling than poker?
I feel it is, especially from my point of view, because like he said, I'm on the frontier, I'm the pioneer, so I'm taking a gamble.
The Lewis and Clark, man.
My vision ahead of where I'm going, that this is going to become something great or become something that people want and desire, especially on the speculative side, where I'm building to sell, putting out my own product in the hopes that somebody wants to come in and buy it, versus just building for clients. I like the speculative aspect of my company, because I'm in complete control of what I want to put out there. So I have to really think about the masses of what I'm putting out there and make sure I'm building something that people are going to like. What I build's not for everybody. I do feel a lot of my spec products are a niche product, but I feel the buyers of my product are looking for that type of product. So it's not designed for the masses. It's designed for a niche buyer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that adds value and creativity, and that's the part that I enjoy.
Yeah. So what skills did you bring from the poker table to the luxury home building? Like, what did you learn playing poker that you are applying in, building? I don't know if anything. It's just
not being afraid to put my money in the middle.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to buy this piece of property and think that I can build something that somebody's going to want. Not having that fear of failure or getting, as they say, sucked out on the river. I got my money in good, and now it's up to the poker gods, for lack of a better word. But yeah, I take a lot of gambles on some of the designs that I do that I think people are going to like. I think people are going to want, outside of the traditional box of what's typically seen. So that's part of the gamble that's instilled in me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to just a couple other things, and then we'll wrap this up. Getting away from real estate and building homes and entrepreneurship. You're a big Penn State fan.
I am.
Okay. And I mean, and when I say big, I mean like in the guest preview form, you typed Penn State in all caps, and that made me laugh. And when I got here and we're setting up the table, I noticed your insulated cup there is Penn State. Your hat you're wearing is Penn State. And before we talk about,
he spends quite a good bit of tuition money at Penn State.
Okay.
So he better have some allegiance here.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that, but my very first question is, what the heck is a Nittany lion? I know what a lion is. I don't know that anybody knows what Nittany is. Like, what's going on there?
All right, so up in Penn State there's Mount Nittany.
Okay.
All right. So it's a little bit of a unique name. It's a local mountain near central Pennsylvania. And the term lion was chosen to evoke strength and pride, similar to mountain lions, cougars that roamed in that region. So technically, a Nittany lion is a fictional mountain lion.
I got you.
That's said to live in
it's a cougar. It's the cougars that live at Mount Nittany,
and that has since become their mascot with their own fight song. They got a statue up there, a student that runs around in the Nittany lion uniform. So that's the basis of it. But man, the passion that they have at this football game and the whiteout game is just absolute. I can't explain it. It's overwhelming.
What's the whiteout game?
So the reason I became a Penn State fan is my daughter Morgan decided to go to Penn State. She applied to several colleges, got accepted into several colleges. We went up there and toured it, and we all just fell in love with it. She was accepted to Clemson, USC, College of Charleston, UConn.
Yeah.
But we went up there and she just fell in love with it. We fell in love with it. It was different. It was far away. And so she started going there. She's a senior now, about to graduate in May, which is super exciting. So we started going up to all what are called the whiteout games. And I was not a football fan really prior to this. But when I went to the first whiteout game her freshman year, I became a hardcore Penn State Nittany Lion fan.
That's awesome.
110,000 people at this game every year, give or take a few $1,000s, a few thousand people. But the whiteout game, everybody in there wears a white Penn State shirt. I mean, it's just incredible. You need to Google whiteout game, Nittany Lion, Penn State. And it just really, to Richard's effect, I'm giving him a lot of money, so I kind of became a Penn State fan, out-of-state tuition. But yeah, I mean, we go up there every year for the Penn State game. We go to the hockey games, which are just like a WWE event. It's just truly an experience that I cannot describe unless you can ever go up there and experience it.
And State College is a really cool town too. On top of it, I mean, you would not think of the vibe to where, you know, it does feel a little bit like Clemson in some regards, where it's the epicenter of everything is the university, and everything revolves around the university. And you know, it's in a part of Pennsylvania where you're kind of Pennsylvania Dutch country, and then all of a sudden you just happen on Happy Valley, and you're like, whoa. Where am I right now? Holy moly, this is different, and it is a really, really cool place. It's a heck of a place to watch a football game.
Yeah, it's incredible. And you know, we're kind of not house divided. My wife is in the MRED program at Clemson, Master's of Real Estate Development. So you know, we're allegiant to Clemson, well, of course, because we're from Greenville. But yeah, so it's just that's why I'm a Penn State fan. That's why I realize now why so many people get behind colleges too, whether it's Clemson, USC, whomever, whatever college. Once I went and experienced it, I was just hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
And I probably will continue to be after she graduates and comes home.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably a stupid question, but Was it difficult as a dad knowing that your daughter had been accepted at Clemson to watch her, pack up and head way off to Penn State? I mean, not caring about the college, but just, man, you could be home and we could have more time with my kid, and had to be.
Yeah, that part of it was very emotional, dropping her off and the goodbyes and the hugs and all that stuff, and not being able to have her come 45 minute drive to be home, or us go 30, 45 minutes to see her. But man, she's a different breed. When she goes up, she's like, well, if I don't like it or I get homesick, I'll just come home. I'll go to another. And we're like, yeah, all right, we'll do that. So it was difficult, but thank God for FaceTime and the ability to travel up there and see her whenever we want to, and go to these games and live vicariously. I didn't graduate. I didn't go to college. Didn't do college. Wasn't my jam. Thank God she's got the brains in the family, and my wife. So it was, yes, it was difficult, but it was exciting.
Yeah,
and I'm super proud of her.
What's she majoring in?
So business entrepreneurship with a minor in real estate, hopefully. And I think this is the case. She's going to come back home, work with me, and I'm going to show her the ropes, and
nice.
And hopefully I can pass the torch one year.
That's great.
And then I've got Victoria, my 25-year-old, who's red hair. She took all my hair from my head. She's got that entrepreneur spirit as well. She just opened up a nail business she's a nail technician doing these incredible artistic designs on nails, and she works at a little shameless plug here, Browning Studio.
Okay.
Name of her company is Polished by Victoria. So she's a nail artist and esthetician. She just recently opened that up downtown Greenville.
Sweet.
So super excited.
I should bring her on the show, man.
Hey, I think that's a great idea.
I'd be happy to.
Great. I guess I'd be okay with her smoking a cigar.
She doesn't have to. Not required for my guests. Not required.
You're going to have Dad peeking around the corner.
That's right. He's like,
Victoria.
Hey. Well, I mean, I'm sure we can work it out if I bring a few smokes for Mark.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, I've got two incredible daughters, 25 and 21 years old. I'm super proud of. My wife, who is absolutely incredible, supports me in everything I do, puts up with all my bad habits and all my late nights and stuff, who supports me in my business. She's in real estate. We're a family of entrepreneurs, and we have a lot of fun doing what we do. And yeah, things are good.
Awesome. And you mentioned, you like to travel,
Mm-hmm.
you like wine, mm-hmm. you like cigars, and all of those things in conjunction with each other. It sounds like a very happy life.
Yeah.
Like in my estimation, forget all the stuff we just talked about, but traveling the country and or the world with your wife, with your kids, enjoying cigars and wine or bourbon. I literally cannot imagine any greater amount of joy.
I can't.
Than that.
I can't. The traveling's probably my favorite part of it, because we just about always go with our kids. I mean, these are memories that we're creating.
Priceless.
That last a lifetime. You can buy the purses, the shoes, and all that. None of that stuff matters. That comes and goes. But the traveling experiences that we get to do together, and creating these memories, and looking back on Facebook memories and all the social media posts that they do, but just being there, being present with them, allowing them to see and experience a lot of the things that I may or may not have gotten to experience, and we do together. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
100%. Yeah, I was talking with somebody a while back, and they were actually it was Keith Bowling. We were having a chat, and he was saying, I mean, I have no idea like what my dad bought for me when I turned 16 for Christmas or for my birthday, but you'll always remember, hey, Dad, you remember when we went to Jamaica?
Yeah.
Or wherever it is you happen to go.
100%.
that's really what it's all about. And, my mom has just kind of helped me with some of that in the finances because, I mean, let's face it, taking a big trip it's not cheap.
No.
But, she likes to say, well, I mean, you can always make more money.
Yeah.
But you can't make more memories.
You can't. I remember the trips that my family took us on. That's what I remember. I don't remember whether he bought me a motorcycle or this particular toy.
Setting a high bar right there. Bought me a motorcycle.
Just throwing that.
Bought me a Ducati. Yeah.
But it's those vacations and those trips that you always reminisce and talk about at the family get-togethers and stuff like that. And that's what that's what my kids are going to remember is the trips that we took.
100%. So, all right, man, let's wrap this up. Cigar recap. Mark, YR cigar from Dominican, Connecticut shade grown. What'd you think?
It was great. Burned well, was smooth. Like you mentioned, it was creamy, and I like that. It wasn't super bold, which like I told you earlier, that's what I like. So yeah, hook me up with a box of them.
Will do.
Send me your Venmo.
Okay, I'll order. I'll order it, man. We'll get you a box. Okay. I'll ask you after the show.
All right.
Crown Heads, Mil Diaz.
Just as good as the first burn from the last time that we got that opportunity. I know that we couldn't smoke it on the show the last time because we were locked in the recording studio.
We could have, but would have got in trouble.
Yeah, we would have set a fire alarm or two off. But,
I mean, you're a broker. You could have got us out of it.
He knows people.
If we could have gotten David Krigler in.
I don't know the fire marshal. Yeah, I know. If Craig had come done it, we could have just opened the garage doors and just let that be that. But, good medium bodied burn, a lot of. To me, I got a lot of cinnamon and caramel.
Nice.
But that's a cigar you can have on a daily basis and not really get tired of. It sort of changes its profile as you move down. I didn't do a very good job of letting it burn even, but it's a very, very, very good smoke.
No, it's great. It's been a while since I smoked that.
Nice like if you're trying to get somebody to take kind of to test out what it's a very good medium bodied cigar.
Yeah, no, it's been a while since I smoked that, and I've forgotten how good it really is. I get on that particular cigar a lot of toasted bread and a lot of graham cracker, especially on the retro hail, which is
that's probably the cinnamon that I'm catching on to is more that kind of graham cracker.
It's so good. I mean, it's great, and it's great with. It was really good with the Basil Hayden. It would be great with Basil Hayden. It would be great with. I mean, frankly, it would be great with an iced tea. It would be great with a cup of coffee. It's just a fantastic cigar. Mil Diaz Crown Heads, YR Cigar Connecticut, awesome. Once again, Mark, how can people follow you on social media and get in touch with you if they are thinking about a custom built home?
So, yeah, Instagram and Facebook, I've got links to my website and stuff. Instagram's going to show you a little bit more about what I'm doing and some of the unique stuff that I'm putting out there. And, of course, there's links to my website. But Mark Thoennes Builders, THOENNES, on Facebook, Instagram. And then my website is just marktonnesbuilders.com.
Awesome. One thing I always ask my guests at the end of the show, now that you got a feel for it and what I do, just for a couple of recommendations, people that that I should bring on.
Man, I got a long list.
We got to start with Victoria.
Yeah, well, polished by Victoria.
I think my daughter polished by Victoria. She'd probably feel the same way I am, super nervous to do it, but I think that'd be.
But now you can put her at ease. You've been there.
Absolutely. My wife, I think, would be a great one. I think Richard and her together would be great.
We've done it before.
I'd love to see that. But yeah, I think there's some. I don't want to drop any names at this moment, but I think there's several people that I'd love to put you in touch with.
Yeah.
I'd love to put you in touch with some other builders. I like to grow the community of builders. I don't like to feel like we're always competing. I like to elevate other people. I like to see other people's success.
Yeah.
So
well, you got my email. You can just shoot me the names of a few people, and I'll set it up.
I'd be happy.
And I will say that of all the people, Mark is one that likes to spread the love around for pretty much everybody. I mean, his wife may be a real estate agent, but he does not like to just put things in silos. He likes to let everybody have a chance.
Yeah.
And I think that the community is a better place as a result of it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate that.
Well, look, if you are in need of my services as a realtor, or you want to just plus up your next event with a cigar box, you can get me directly at 864-207-2316. You can visit mobilecigarbox.com to check me out, learn more about the business, fill out the booking inquiry form for a no-obligation consultation with me as a real estate professional. You can email me at cstrother@cdanjoiner.com. You've been listening to Sunday Afternoon Smokes. I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Share it with your family, your friends. Share it on your socials. Share it with the world. The Sunday Afternoon Smokes is pretty sweet. Richard, Mark, thanks for carving out, where are we at here, 2.5 hours on a Tuesday to sit down with me and have a chat and have a cigar. It's been fun.
Thanks for having us.
Could have been anywhere in the world, but thanks for having us here.
Yeah, you bet. All right, everybody. We will be back with a fresh episode very soon. We'll talk to you later.